Welcome back, everybody. Match number 2 is going to be fought out between students of the game versus Shiki, just like we saw in the brackets. Who do you guys think is going to win?
Whoa, straight to the press.
All right.
Straight to the
Slow
press.
your roll with these press. All right?
Hey, I have all the power.
I love it.
All right.
I have all the power.
Who do you got, Jake?
I mean, all right, students of the game, I got a lot of love for these guys. I think these are players that I've been seeing in ranked for years and years and years, from when they were little kids and I was like, these guys suck, and now they're way better than me, and now they can play me in the ranked game, because now I suck compared to all these guys. So, you know what? That's that. Age comes for us all, guys. The hands of time are brutal. But we got PGE and Scissors. Yeah. Hands of time have been good to these guys so far. They've been on the come up, improving. The Dark Lord, PGE, as he's known. Scissors also putting the grind. These are like non-streaming players, infected as well. Bracktech and Cal, you probably already know from the Overwatch League. More veteran presence there, but a ton of talent in the DPS and tank line here.
And of course, they're going up against Shikigami. Johnny, what do you think about this team?
Yeah, so Shikigami is going to be one of the underdogs throughout this entire main event. But, you know, we've seen throughout already in the EMEA that upsets do happen. And once again, like, these are players that we haven't typically seen in the Overwatch League and Tier 1 Overwatch Esports before. So this is the real chance to really come through here and try to make an impression, right? So you're playing against a team that now Jake has hyped up to be such up and coming. Oh, they got great rookies in ranked. Oh, they're so good. Oh, check out these guys. PG, Scissors. Whoa, infected. Well, Shikigami, this is your turn. This is your time.
Oh, all right. I feel like it's going to be a
good friendly Shikigami.
I mean, we're looking at the map. We're looking at the map selection right now. Guys, Nepal. We're not getting Lee Jin.
Oh, I like Nepal.
I like this
Nepal
from students.
Yeah.
I like this. Throw a wrench in the works.
Another new map, that we're seeing today. Exciting stuff. Anything else you guys want to add before throwing to the casters?
I just want to see these guys pop off. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Show me some Sojourn. Show me the PGE Sojourn.
Same. Me too.
More Overwatch.
Jaws, Mr. X, take it.
Yo, thanks, Danny.
Beautiful.
Yo. Danny, you know what? You've done a good job today. I think you've done a fantastic job.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Welcome
true.
back. Let's go.
I don't like you're being sarcastic.
I'm not being sarcastic.
I'm gonna beat you up.
Danny's did a
What?
good job.
Okay. Whoa.
Watch out in the parking lot, bro.
Yeah, what? I've been nothing but nice to you today.
I tell you what, though, Jack, if Danny swung on you, you'd be on the ground in seconds.
Absolutely. Have you seen him? He's jacked. I'll be snapped in half like a matchstick. No. Leave me alone, Danny. Go away. We're doing the game now. Goodbye. Students of the game versus Shikigami.
I'm excited for Students of the Game. Yeah, I'm excited. Students of the Game, they've been a team that a lot of people have talked about really throughout the entire tournament. You know, going up against Shikigami, obviously a losers round 1 matchup, but I think it's Students of the Game. It's a team that I think a lot of people expected to go relatively far, right? Contend with some of those top teams, kind of like in that same bracket probably with LFO.
Yeah, I had Students of the Game as one of my dark horses coming out of North America, so it's good to see them kind of progress, of course, to the main event. And like Jake has said on the desk, some of these names on the Students of the Game side you would have seen before if you watched Overwatch League, Rack Attack, Cal, but Infected has been around for quite a while now and is definitely the most hyped, or one of the most hyped upcoming tank players in North America. And PG too is just an unbelievable Sojourn. If you get PG on your team in ranked, it's a free win. It's a carry. Like, that guy's a bit of a nutcase on it. And Shikigami,
yeah, believe he talked some trash to Custa as well, so some
excellent stuff. That's an
pluses
extra
up there too. Yeah,
that's a +2. Oh, 2 Aristas though. No Malga. Good to see. Oh, okay. Noctis almost got deleted. Okay, Vintage definitely stepping a little bit too close to the edge there.
I think the Sojourn in this type of like composition is so much better than having the Cassidy in play.
Yes.
Like I think the Cassidy, like you can obviously do some damage to like the Tracer on the other side, but like the Sojourn can just chunk through the Orisa armor and then the Orisa's dead, right? You can't exactly do that type of burst damage there with the Cassidy. So I think just inherently off of compositions, like it's almost a mirror, but like Students of the Game should have a huge advantage.
PG hiding away there. You can see their little outline. Cal also flinging in some kunais. Yeah, Vintage is going to have a little bit of a tough time. Oh, maybe not with the Tracer, though. That was a nasty flick from Vintage.
It's like a mid-roll flick.
Yeah. In fact, he's going to even it up at least, killing Vintage. And with the with the tank dead, I mean, even Solo going down, a bit more of a scrappy fight, but Rack should just be able to kite around. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, especially with PG just being alive and existing. It's going to be tough for Shikigami to really come back in. Rather scrappy. No deaths here for Shikigami is the imperative. Oh,
and now we're going to get a... I mean, hey, that's pretty bad. Oh, well, okay. Well, we got a little bit of a trade here. But now you have Vintage switching over and actually going to play the Sojourn. So, 2 spawns with the Cassidy, nothing really working out. Now going to get a full-on mirror.
Oh, what a spear from Infected. Good follow-up, too, from Scissors. The rush is coming out. There is... That was an AJ, I think. Rack hitting the Ajax. Terror Surge dragged him in and boom! Straight into the floor. No sound barrier for students the game now. Infected using their own Terror Surge, killing Noctis, who's 3% towards the sound barrier there, and might have just turned the tide of that battle. Rack, sound barrier, it didn't matter.
Modern Warfare 3.
All good.
It's just like a TDM game. Yeah, it's just like just players just flooding the point. Just like, we had one team fight at the beginning, and then everything else has just been kind of like sporadic deaths. Okay, Scissors goes in, tries to pulse bomb Vintage. He falls on the way out. Let's see, I mean, in fact, get right in his face. Want to put a lot of pressure on the Sojourn. That's Suzu already in sound barrier.
How do they deal with the sound barrier? They're still going in. Oh, stole the health back away too.
Into the health back.
Luckily, managed to slide away, but no, Infected's going all the way to the spawn doors for that one. They lost the point, but where's the damage now for Shikigami? Hey, this is TDM. Devs, new game mode just unlocked. Unlocked TDM again. 15% for Shikigami and counting, but it doesn't really matter. Students of the game just sweep him under the rug, and that should be round number 1.
Yeah, and I think you see from students of the game POV is PG the kill there at the end. Whenever they see Vintage, like, they are so fast on collapsing on whether it's the Sojourn or the Cassie, right? They're Infected and Co. They just, push them all the way out to the spawn. The rest of the team's probably like, in the comms, like, hey, we flip points. Like, well, that's great. Like, you have no damage now. Your Sojourn's, like, in the spawn. So, have to do a little bit of better job of trying to protect, Vintage in some of these fights.
Yes, it really felt everybody was just kind of everywhere. Very sporadic movement and positioning. I mean, look, you do need Noctis a lot of the time. The time that Vintage did get saved, they used the sound barrier and the Suzu, and then they still got chased to spawn. Really rough. All right, Village next. Okay, we'll see what they can do. Both teams TPing out. Same kind of compositions, though. Complete mirror on either side. Oh, okay.
That is fast.
That had to have been a spear.
Must get hit with like a spear. Yeah, I was going to say a spear and just some, Lucio primary fires cross map. And hey, that's going to get Shikigami like this high ground here control really early. The issue is like the kills happen so fast that like it's like way before the point even unlocks, right? So it doesn't really even have an impact here on who gets the point first.
Yeah, Solo taking a lot of damage here,
actually,
despite losing.
Pick, and then students of the game gets a point anyway.
Despite losing Cal at the very beginning, they've taken the point and taken Dan Twist's life too. Students of the game ascending to the high ground. PG doesn't end up getting booped off, and yeah, the target priority right now for Shikigami is PG, but no one can touch him. No one. The peel is just too good for students of the game.
Yeah, I mean, have really good support help there for PGE, and then you see Infected basically chasing the Sojourn around on the other side, just running down Vintage. He does not have much help. So even though you did see Shikigami get that first pick, the kill happened like so fast that the point was, it wasn't even close to being unlocked. That students of the game still gets back in control first. As this time Solo starts off with a kill here on a PG, so that's huge. Let's see if Shikigami can get to the point.
Get microwaved a little bit by those turrets. There's a teleport there too. Don't think anybody's going to dare use it. There's a Kitsune rush, and Scissors in a little bit of trouble. Nice little spin there for Infected. Almost baiting Solo in, who has to back up to the point. Shikigami do end up going for the flip there, but Infected, well, he can just jump down on top of him if he really wants to. Terror Surge available, straight on top of the point. Solo's in trouble, getting microwaved. Terror Surge available. They're going to be able to dodge out of the way of Solo's ones. He drags everybody back in. That sound barrier, that overhealth gone in a blink of an eye. As students of the game now firmly plant themselves on that point and find the flip too. That wolf from Scissors just separating Shikigami there, and Infected's positioning was just stellar.
Yeah, the wall is massive, right? You know, support ults used from both sides, Terror Surge used from both sides. The wall there at the end kind of split off. The damage coming down from Infected's Terror Surges. Look at this. They're kind of like setting up in a sneaky position. They're going to speed him into somebody.
Oh, Vintage trying to find some headshots. Everybody retreating to Kitchen, but PG comes up with a kill onto Twist. All right, Dan Twist dead again. A lot of backline pressure now disappearing. Solo is having the worst time possible dealing with those sim turrets, and now PG got an overclock of their own, but no, it's actually Vintage that shuts them down. A beautiful shot from the high ground there onto Rack Attack 2. As soon as the game's still in control, Vintage finds his third of the fight. Someone's got to end this for Shikigami. Okay, there it is. Dan Twist comes back, kills Infected. They get the flip, but students of the game still sitting at 99.
Yeah, when Vintage has had some room landing some really nice shots, that's PG's overclock used there. Vintage, I believe it's actually probably Solo who like lands a spear, kind of like shoots PG up into the sky, and then no, Vintage takes him out. But huge pick off there, and then he's able to find 2 more in the fight. So students of the game looking to maybe trying to set a TP up here to kind of cross the point. They're actually going to go TP cross and then high ground.
Vintage is so low. They got speared mid-slide there, so they got some extra air time. Tony Hawk would be proud. The rush available from Graveyard too. They just rip it straight on the point. Got to deal with those turrets as well. Annoying for Solo, but they just rush straight on past them. Splitting the team is the aim of the game. Students of the game are in a little bit of trouble, but they actually end up managing to kite away quite quickly. And now Shikigami with control of the point, but not control of their health bars by the looks of it. Cal's got a little bit something to say, rips their own rush. Scissors just darting around with his teleporter. Shikigami can't land a kill. They can't just look at someone and actually kill him. They eventually get PG, but at what cost? 75% and counting for Shikigami. The students of the game, they lose 1, but with Sim on the point, so Shikigami had to bundle on top of him. And with a 99% flip, is anyone there to touch? I do not think so. And that'll be map number 1 going over to students of the game.
Yeah, no, they close that one out pretty convincingly. They kind of like pinch Shikigami into the point on both sides. And then that sim just starts to ramp up from one side. I'm kind of like looking here because Hugo's just kind of like standing in the, he was like face in the monitor. He was glued to his seat watching that one. He's also trying to eat parts of the microphone underneath here, but what a first map there from students of the game. I thought they looked great as expected.
Yeah, no, they look really good, and PG especially. I mean, the support that he's also getting is just extraordinary from the back line. The Kiri and the Lucio, all you got to do there is just help your Soj, just find value and just stay alive. And same honestly couldn't be said for Shikigami. There was a lot of time where as soon as the game, they see 1 pixel worth of Vintage character model, beeline, instant into the backline. And I think this clip sums it up perfectly. Just straight to the sport.
Yeah, I mean, that's Infected with 1 support just running all the way into the back, dealing with Vintage. They've done that like numerous times. They'll TP directly on top of the opposing team's Sojourn. I mean, it's crazy to think like he was trying to play Cassidy, right? Considering how fast they were collapsing on him when he was playing the Sojourn. Right. The Cassidy is even just more of a stationary target. I thought students of the game, especially in this type of mirror, I think they definitely know how to protect that Sojourn a little bit better. I think you're going to have to see Shikigami adjust. Yeah,
it was very TDM-y. It's like the devs didn't unlock the TDM queue again, right? And it was just very back and forth on the first map. But as soon as the game finding their footing now, felt like Village was a little bit more in control as we move on to the next map, Hollywood, in just a moment. But yeah, students of the game kind of living up to what I expected them to be. It wasn't the toughest group in the world, Group D. Like, obviously, Toronto was in Group A, which demolished everybody. But this is really time for students of the game to really show people what they're worth. Nice little stats on the screen, too. I mean, not too much of a surprise to see students of the game with higher KDs. Like, there's no shocks there. No. Damage mitigated is whatever. Damage done. Similarly, quite close, but you're going to be pumping out a lot of damage anyway as the Sojourn, who's the main damage dealer. So you're expecting those numbers to be fairly similar anyway. It's more just about surviving, and you can really tell the story there from the KDs.
And like you said, I think it's awesome. We get to see students of the game here on broadcast. Give this team
Absolutely.
some love. A team that a lot of people are excited about the players on this team. A lot of kind of just people within the competitive community and like look out for this team. Like, so everybody I think knows how talented these players are. In that with time, in the competitive scene, now that it's like completely open, right? Anybody can play. Anybody can compete and qualify. Like, this is a team to look out for the future, right? This is a team that's not going to hit their ceiling today, but you think in a few months' time, consistently playing against the top, these players have just the natural talent to keep going higher and higher.
Exactly that. And I think it's funny that Jake eloquently put it, like he was calling them bad in ranked and now they're calling him bad in ranked. Like, this new generation of players is just getting so much better than what we've seen.
You know what
over the
Jake
last
should
few
do?
years. What's that?
Jake should have a team that basically everybody on the opposing team is I appreciate it though. Vintage took some damage and was like, screw it, I'm gonna jump around the court and challenge this anyway. I think Jake needs to sponsor a team that like uses the Jake course and see how far they can go with the Jake course.
That would be sick.
And achieve victory.
That would be really sick. What a stamp of authenticity if they make it all the way to the main event, bro. That's crazy.
Right. Main event guaranteed if you take the Jake course.
Wow.
That would actually be probably impossible considering there's probably lots of people who are taking the course and
Exactly.
not a lot of spots in the main event.
Exactly. That'd be too many players in that regard.
Jake should go do a main event guarantee or your money back.
That guy be losing money in that case. Or did I spit it? Oh!
Yeah, you've been in the hole a bit.
Spirit and pause. All good. Brief pause.
Judging by the health bars, there's a lot of people weak on Shikigami and a lot of people healthy on students of the game. So looking like a first fight pretty good for students of the game, but a pause, maybe DC, maybe something happened. So we'll get an idea and we'll get back into it.
Yeah, we'll get going. I can see a little brief screenshot over there, but yeah, it sounds like it is a small tech issue, which we should be able to get sorted momentarily. One of the players maybe mouse disconnected or something, but yeah, it's all good. We'll get into the game in just a moment. But it looks like both teams are running the Orisa, by the way, which again I think is going to be the meta going forward, depending on the map, of course, and depending on the team. But I think Orisa really is just going to be the cornerstone right now. Extremely survivable, and while the DPS passive exists, like that decreased healing, Orisa just has so many tools to stay alive that it sometimes doesn't even matter. You don't even have to pay attention to the tank at all. So you can do more healing for your DPS, or even go on small flanks as well as the Kiri. Yeah, it's all to be seen though. We are going to jump to a quick break though, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with Hollywood after this.
Our victory is at hand. Ashes to ashes. Die, die, die.
Let's get you back out there. Maintaining connection.
I'm getting readings of a cosmic disturbance in these ruins. Moira, prioritize our people, not your cosmic experiments. That's an order.
Accept my gifts, and all will be yours. Your ally has descended into darkness.
Our group energy is interesting. Very interesting.
Check this out.
Methinks a Cupid I shall play. What are you looking at? Keep moving forward.
Best of luck to you all.
We're back. Don't worry, Hollywood is underway. We're all good. We fixed the tech issue, whatever it was, not sure, don't care, didn't ask. We're in game. Hollywood and Aspect starts us off with a cute little kill on Scissors. Oh,
what do you think about the Ashe here? The Ashe is even harder to protect, I feel like, than the Sojourn or the Cassidy.
Yeah, not as hard as the Cassidy. I think a little bit better with a coach, but still pretty tough compared to Sojourn. I would say dealing with Scissors on the Echo is going to be a little bit easier, so maybe that's
yes,
the choice that they went with. Rack Attack going down isn't all good news, though, for students of the game. It looks like they are going to lose this first point. Of course, it has been about 2 minutes since we jumped back in, almost. So Shikigami with a lot of ults. Yeah. Only ripping the rush is really nice. But yeah, I really like the Ashe. I think the Bob provides a lot, although it does get sometimes insta-deleted, but if you can keep it alive and just kind of bundle on the back line with Bob, it could be an easy kill. Oh, wait, he still gets that kill? There's no way.
2?
They don't touch, but...
Yeah, they're just too far away to contest. So that'll be the first point going to Shikigami. I think the Ashe is definitely like way better against like the Echo. Like what? Like if you're looking at like against Echo, like I mean, what you'd want Tracer and Ashe, right? Two heroes that historically have always been pretty good against Echo. So here is an interesting scenario, though. Shikigami gets first point, but students of the game pushes all the way up. They're going to basically play in their spawn. That's going to be a dupe out of just necessity. I feel like Scissors is getting pushed out.
Yeah, Scissors pushed out, forced to dupe. There's the sound barrier. It does end up hitting Scissors too, and Fader going super low. Nice little spear there on the Lucio, but only one tank. Well, half a tank, I suppose, as the Echo duplicate eventually fades away. Dan Twist, unluckiest Tracer I've ever seen. That's twice they've...
360 kill there.
Yeah, that was nice. Vintage and the rest of Shikigami breaking the spawn trap, but I really like that. It burnt off a lot of time, and Shikigami made almost, well, zero progress, in fact, as soon as the game were holding their spawn.
Yeah, for Shikigami, they need to control this high ground right there. This is where the Ashe can like start to do tons of damage and really take advantage of the long sight lines against that Sojourn. So you see they do have their Orisa up on the high ground. That's a nice dynamite long range there from Vintage. Is look at this. I mean, PG just not able to get, you know, he's going to sit up here on this high ground, but try and access the one with the bridge. That's the one he really wants. It's going to be difficult.
The Angs are bad. They're not great right now. Oh, nice little recall. Scissors hunting for the enemy Tracer. Oh, nice. The blinks through the rush. You go so far. Nice little blink, smack, and repeat. Aspect going pretty low, though, after using that Terror Surge. Should be a matter of time before they end up isolating the Orisa, and they do. And with PG's Railgun too, and this is going to be the hard part, Matt. Shikigami only with this Bob, they can control the space with the rush, but ideally you want to rush on the point and then fight around it. The Bob's going to be almost useless, and getting up into the high ground even more difficult now. Although switching to the Winston is going to be nice. But
yeah, you're gonna
only one person that can follow up, and that's the Tracer.
And I really like the Tracer switch from students of the game. I think that Echo is just going to get punished constantly as he has to try to take some of that high ground. The Bob out as well. Bob not really doing too much at the moment. But they do create some space. But you see how scary this is for Vintage, right? He's got the Tracer coming from one angle. Other players also looming here. So it looks like that students of the game, they pick up one. They probably want to try and push out the saloon.
Nice headshots there from Vintage. Dan Twist down again. Real rough time on the Tracer so far. Oh, nice little spear. Oh, goodbye. I have to wait for the lift now. No one there waiting for them, so safety is on the high ground currently. Aspect just taking so much damage though, and you can see constant rotations from students of the game trying to get Shikigami dislodged off of this high ground. It's not working out for them thus far as they see Aspect jumping into the backline, and that's the kill that you want to see. PGE down is great, but losing your Winston in the process too, this is a reset from Shikigami.
I mean, that's a trade that I think students of the game will take every single fight, right? Like, if you're going to trade your Sojourn for the opposing team's tank, I mean, especially with where the payload is, and especially going up and against an Aresis, Scissors switching over the Tracer has been phenomenal. But if you're going to trade your Winston out to go get the enemy Sojourn every single time the other team has an Arisa just standing on the point, I mean, you're just going to have to reset every single time. There's no way you're going to be able to win those fights.
And look at the ultimate students the game stacked up too. They can make this last fight as well. The payload is so far away at this point. It's going to be a free touch for Shikigami. Shouldn't be an issue for the moment. But it's just so rough. Dantwist going super low too. Forced to recall that early on. Not what you want to see, and Scissors knows it's going to try and follow the trace. And Dantwist picks up PGE, but Scissors hot on their trail. And now the Winston's also trapped. A Pulse on the side does force the Primal Rage, but with 15 seconds to go. And what do I see in the kill feed? Oh, Infected. Oh, yeah, don't worry. He's pushing towards Spawn. Of course he is. Cal does end up going down to the Primal Mat, but I think this is really just about it. Aspect picks up 2. Payload still moving back when with 3 seconds to go. It's Aspect flinging himself towards the point, and they don't touch. They just don't touch. 2 pixels away, and students of the game are going to halt them there. No point B, and that is rough.
Yeah, that is tough. As I thought, Scissors was tremendous on the Tracer. I mean, we talked a lot about like PGE and, you know, map number 1. Shikigami, I think, did a better job at, you know, trying to put some more pressure on him, but in the time they've done that, they've allowed Scissors just go crazy in their backline. I mean, the Echo, very difficult to play into the Ash. They switch off of it right away when the Tracer pays off.
I mean, Tracer feels like a must pick right now, but if you've got someone like PG on your roster who's a lights out Sojourn player, stick him on the Soj, also an incredibly strong pick, but the flexibility, what you need from Scissors, they're providing that in spades. Tracer or Echo, both phenomenal right now, and they're phenomenal at those picks too, so yeah, as soon as the game, roster extremely well-rounded when it comes down to it. Shikigami they just can't seem to hold on to fights for much longer than a couple of seconds, it feels like. Students of the game always trading up. Dantwist as well has had a rough time on the Tracer, not being able to find too much. And when they do, they instantly get traded back. And yeah, it's a rough one. Rack attacks in slow motion, 1 frame per second. That looks cool.
So we'll see Shikigami on defense here. This is... So Sigma,
yeah,
Baptiste, Zen. Ooh. So you are going to have to, I mean, Infected obviously going to take some damage on the way in, but I mean, trying to protect some of the backline is going to be really difficult.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very greedy comp playing the Zen here. There's still a decent sightline, but as soon as the enemy team takes this high ground like this, it can be really tough for you to do much. They've already burnt the lamp. They take care of PGE, but look at that. Infected's already in. Infected's killing your backline. I mean, Aspect did rotate around to try and force the DPS of students the game away, but it doesn't matter. You got no supports left. Graveyard does switch to Kiriko, Noctis to Lucio to get back in time. Vintage finds their 3rd kill of the fight, and this first point is as good as done.
You'd think Infected's like playing like Winston, like he's like always in the backline, like picking up like a kill or 2. He just speeds on in on the Arisa. They just let him go right on past, and I know they're able to deal with that backline. Is this to be a touch hit for Dantwist as Shikigami want to fight this? They don't want to give up first point so fast.
Honestly, if you put POV of Infected running at your backline and the Doom music over it, I believe it's a trailer for a Doom game. Aspect does take care of 2 though, so okay, a little bit of a turnaround here. 99.2%, couldn't have been closer. Yeah. They still managed to land the hold. 2.5 minutes to go though for students of the game, and they need to regain that 33%. Maybe spoke a little bit too soon.
I mean, it's going to be very difficult to hold this, I think. I know Shikigami with some changes as Vintage will play the Cassidy now. And then moving away from Zen Bap right away. That was just not going to work as It'll be Noctis moving over to the Lucio as Rakatag up here on the high ground. This is probably, you just try and speed out of this. You just want to try and disengage, keep Infected up.
Oh, that's so rough. No soundbite for Rakatag, but doesn't want to use it anyway, even if they did have it. Cal, too, ends up falling. They do have the
But is that fine,
rush.
though?
That's fine. That's
like
more than
using
okay.
the Flux there at the end?
Flux rush?
Yeah.
You've got 4 odds. You just run in, you have the beat, and they also have beat. You can kind of force it that way, or you can even just try and rush, hit the Terror Surge, and then Sound Barrier super late after Noctis's overhealth does end up fading away. So 1:30 and 30, Students the game in a very good spot, and Dan Twist in a whole lot of trouble. Noctis to the rescue, though.
And I think if you're Students of the game, if you can win this and get the beat out from the other side, you come back in the next fight with a PGE Blade.
Okay, already.
Suzu saves everybody.
Suzu beats Vintage, again, having a rough time in the back line. As soon as the game managed to find these isolation kills. Oh, we'll ignore that one, Scissors, no worries. They're pulsing the payload, never happened. Aspects, yep, they're just going to get pushed out. Oh, differential there from Students of the game as Infected finds 4.
He's a beast. Vintage is gonna block Infected. I mean,
he actually is.
Just like he just does this spear spin and just runs at him in a straight line, and nothing.
Like I said,
do.
dude, you put the Doom music over that. Infected, he's wearing the Predator suit right now, just demolishing demons in front of him. Crazy, and they've taken high ground too.
Shikigami. So, and they end up using their beat in the last fight as Aspect gets really low. Same with Vintage. They end up using their beat in the last fight, and then now you're going to have PG with this Blade.
Infected. Oh, can they hold on to the high ground? No. Looks like they're going to back off. Yes, Sound Barrier for PG, like you said. Might be a little bit difficult to get off, although if you can beat with Blade, like it is good, but ideally you don't want to use them exactly at the same time. But they looks like they're trying to set up for something. The Blade has been pulled, instantly backing off though. Hainu coming out from Vintage, does let it rip, but no, of course. Who's there? It's Infected. 2.5 minutes to go. Everybody from Shikigami just straying away from PGE, and rightfully so. Noctis in a little bit of trouble, and Infected still controls the high ground. And there's the Terror Surge. Well, a TP out will be good enough, but you got to heal your front line. Aspect manages to get away by taking the lift up onto the high ground, but Infected is still on the point and making it a punishing task for Shikigami to really do anything. As soon as the game now walking on forward, I mean 2 minutes to go, Matt, and not many meters left. Shikigami got their work cut out for them.
I mean, no, you see the golden box of victory. I mean, who could potentially touch, like, Noctis? But it does not look likely. Baboop's probably going to knock some players offline. Yep, and that should do it as Students of the game get off to a fast 2-0 start.
Yeah, that was a little stomping there on Hollywood, honestly. Like, Infected looked sick on the Orisa. I did like the change up from Shikigami switching over to the Sigma, but the Zen, it's so greedy. Lucio feels like a must pick right now, and even though you have got that space, Infected gets amped once, and Infected kills your backline, and then, well, PG, you do whatever you want, bro. Like, I've already won the game.
Well, you've had a tough time, like, protecting the backline or staying alive, so to go with a composition that, like, even puts you more, like, flat-footed and just stand in the ground, I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense at the start, but maybe you thought that with Discord and some damage at range, you could make it like costly enough in terms of HP pool to get pushed, not get pushed back.
Right. Yeah, and that's the big advantage of Zen, right? You output a lot of damage, you can put Discord on the tank. Orisa's pretty susceptible to that. No shield, so you were just tanking damage, but she has so much mitigation and so little space to cover, especially with the Lucio speed boost. It's really hard to make the Zen work there. Just how fast that composition is. Rough stuff for Shikigami. I mean, as soon as the game, they do end up going up 2-0, 3-0 potentially on the horizon. They did end up coming out of Group D in first, so a lot to kind of live up to here. Their group, not the hardest comparatively to a lot of talent in the other groups, but a real big chance, like I mentioned before, to prove themselves here on a bigger stage. Shikigami, I mean, Matt, what do you think they need to do to turn this one around? We are going to Esperanca next.
I mean, look, push, I think first fight is so important. Like, winning first fight, I think, would be huge for them. Like, giving themselves a little bit of a lead, a little bit of, like, breathing room.
Right.
And then, otherwise, I mean, they got to try and protect Vintage. I mean, you cannot allow the other team's Orisa to just stomp into the back line and just live throughout just about everything. It feels like, you know, Cal and Infected just go back there and they're just, you know, uncontested. So I think you need to figure out a way to punish them. Like, if that's the way that Students of the Game is going to play, you have to be able to punish it.
Yeah, maybe you play a little bit faster there. I can't imagine we're going to see the Zen. I don't think that's really a possibility here from Shikigami. Esperanca, you need Lucio. You just got to have it. But, I mean, pound for pound,
you
if
need
you're
Lucio
running
in every single comp.
Yeah,
like
right.
like even the comps that you don't even really love Lucio in, he's just too, like, group speed is just way too strong.
Yeah.
Like amp heal also is like not terrible. Like it's like decent.
And Lucio does a lot of damage now. With the new projectile changes, I was speaking to Astra about it, and he's like, you can sometimes, not all the time, especially you've got Kevster on your team, right? Sometimes you're going to be up there in terms of damage, rivaling some of your DPS, because Lucio's projectiles were big anyway, but they feel a little bit bigger now, a little chunkier size of planets almost, and you can really rack up some insane damage, which really helps, especially against comps that don't run a shield tank, which a lot of the time now we're not. It's been Mauga, Orisa, a little bit of Sigma, but yeah, Lucio is just so strong in almost every aspect. We do have a small change though, Matt. Noctis and Graveyard in now in the backline.
Okay, so a little bit of a change here for Shikigami, as believe we'll have Aspect being subbed out there. So Graveyard coming on in. We'll see what they're able to do. Not an awesome scenario. Like, hey, we just lost 2 maps. Do you want to come in here? Try and get a reverse sweep. I mean, Lucio also, like, sound barrier is a ridiculous ultimate too. Yeah. Like, just really, like, between like Lucio and Kiriko, like, you kind of have everything you need in terms of support covered. Like, you know, there's like some arguments for others in some situations, but I feel like those two are just clearly above everybody else at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Suzu is so important too. Like, with the amount of traces running around, even if you don't catch every single pulse bomb with the Suzu, like even 50% of them, and honestly, most of the time you're catching 100, especially if you've got a keen eye and you're ult tracking pretty well. Like, yeah, the Suzu and the Rush is also a fight winner. We saw a lot of the Moira with the Mauga, but the Kiriko was just way better even in that comp too, because the Rush just beats the Cole 10 times out of 10, or maybe 9 times if the Cole's insane. But the Rush is just so sick. Fight winning ultimate, and normally you have to match their Kitsune Rush with your own Kitsune Rush, otherwise you just lose. So yeah, Kiriko, Lucio, name of the game right now in this meta. Junker Queen.
What do you think about Queen here into the Orisa?
You're going to get, I think, slain pretty quickly. You have to go fast. Like, you have to just int into the backline and kill PG. Right. Like, that's what you have to do here with the Queen. Otherwise, you're just going to get infinitely chunked out. You've got to force that dash, which is exactly what they've done. And, yep, straight onto PG, or at least they're going to try to. Again, Infected, just playing goalkeeper. Spear spinning in front of everybody and then pushing everybody back. Scissors, unfortunately, though, an unlikely first kill coming through for Shikigami as Abstract finds first blood.
Yeah, I mean, neutral fights you're going to lose is the Junker Queen comp here against the Orisa, right? You're just going to get kind of like chunked down, and by the time you could do anything, you're just going to lose. Is a nice spear there by Infected. Maybe even potentially end up saving PGs quite low, as Shikigami does get control of the bot first, though, which is quite big.
Oh my, Aspect is just getting bullied in the corner. Like, he just can't do anything. I mean, that's the big thing about the Queen too. Yeah, like, against the Orisa, you just get rolled by Spear and the spin. Like, it's so hard to get and stick onto the backline, and you pointed out perfectly, that Spear saved PG's life from the Genji. And Infected's accuracy must be nearing 100%. Like, that guy he's hitting every single Spear.
Yeah, like, Queen, you kind of want comps that are just going to kind of like, be up in your face, right? Like, I think Queen is even pretty decent against like Reinhardt comps, right? You're not really going to see Reinhardt comps in the tournament, but like Queen's pretty good against those scenarios. In like the Orisa comps, though, I feel like where she loses out is like the ability to just like output damage over time. Is Scissors with a pulse bomb, PGE with a headshot there onto Vintage. No overclock even needed here. This will be another cleanup for Students of the Game.
All right. That was quick. Shikigami with no real ults in that fight. I mean, B and the rush, but you've already lost your Genji to a pulse bomb, and then it kind of all just tumbles down and falls apart. You really want to open the fight up with the rush.
If you're going to play fast, I'd almost rather see them just like play the Winston, right?
Sure,
like
yeah.
At least it's a little bit more versatile. Like I think it kind of like, I mean, obviously it doesn't sit in the same kind of niche as Junker Queen in terms of a hero, right? But I think like it's a little bit safer, and if like the play is to try and access backline, like playing like a Genji type of comp, like I think you're probably better off playing the Winston.
Oh, Aspect's looking for yet another knife onto PGE. And then a forcing of, oh my god, that was a big terror surge. Ooh. Nice Suzu though by Graveyard. Sound barriers used from both sides as Aspect lands the giant Carnage swing only onto the Lucio mine, so there's no real follow-up there. And Aspect is isolated too, away from their team. A one-person rampage? You have to kill Rack for that. All right, there's the kill. I mean, even in this up one-up PG, not quite on the cards for you, unfortunately, even with the overclock in the backline. Aspect finding some value there on the ultimate, but Infected still claiming kills. Infected still claiming kills. How does Infected kill 3 at the end of that fight? Like, how is that possible?
Yeah. I mean, he gets 3, and because they got the checkpoint that spawns a little bit closer, yeah, they're going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming, yeah.
Oh my god. Infected does it again. God, talk about the cornerstone of the team. Oh, nice knife. Not quite. Not today.
Also, you see how good the Terror Surge is against the Kitsune Rush? Like, the Rush, you kind of have to obviously play inside of it, right? And then when everybody starts to, like, come in with that Rush, you end up using the Terror Surge to force out that, you know, Suzu and beat right away.
All right, a wraparound here from Aspect. Trying to pay attention to the high ground again, but Rack to the rescue. Just boop everybody away. And oh, what was that? Oh, we switched sides. Yep, that's all right. We're pushing the bot now, and then you have high ground. We don't care because we're already around the corner. Scissors trying to find their way into the back line. Forcing the Suzu's going to be quite important here before the pulse bomb lands, but just harassing the back line might be more than enough. Blade's been pulled. Cal ends up going down to a knife. Abstract waiting for that boop to come in before they end up going for that dash. Goes down to PGE, but Aspect still putting up names and numbers here as Scissors overlooks the rest of his team just getting decimated, but all good. 81 meters and then some for students of the game.
Yeah, but you're fighting just to even get back to the bot, right? You're not fighting for any progress, it seems like, as another nice knife there from Aspect. But what? The bot will probably get back to mid-map, and because of these spawns, you're going to have another quick fight for students of the game.
You lost all your damage, you lost the Sojourn. I mean, Aspect on the high ground. Scissors just playing ring around the Roseby, and now Aspect has to contend with this rush, has to drop to the low ground, and is almost completely alone. Receives the Suzu, hits the Rampage to actually just get out of there. Sound Barrier 2 from Noctis was thrown in to try and save Aspect. Infected now ascending to the high ground as Scissors controls the bot and has the pulse bomb in hands. A little self-defense if they need it. So Shikigami going to have to pay attention to the bot, so now they're completely split. I think the call just came there from students of the game. They can now push in. Yes, they spot Vintage alone on the high ground with no slide. PG takes care of Graveyard, and Shikigami's focus just not quite there.
I mean, they use so much to get back to the bot. They don't have anything like left for the fight, right? I mean, they end up using their sound barrier to be able to save like Aspect in that type of scenario. I believe they end up using their rush too. It's like, and then by the time you get back on even footing and like, okay, now we can take a fight. Like, oh wait, we don't have anything. We use everything to kind of get back to like this, you know, midfield type of scenario where Abstract, nice dash there. That's gonna have the recall come out. That's gonna be sound barrier.
I've never seen a big fight in this small room.
PG up on the high. Up on the high ground.
Oh, good shot from Vintage. Nice little double tap there. They got to make this a clean fight, Matt. Do not let Infected get another kill. Okay. Ray boss down again. Students of the game, they finally end up getting wiped there. A very, very interesting fight in that small room. You saw Rack using that sound barrier as Infected was moving the bot, but they got a lot of free cart progress, and everybody got forward spawn, Matt.
Yes, now you'll be able to kind of maybe get up on this high ground here for Shikigami for just a brief period. I mean, you need to win a fight here. You know, by this kind of bridge is Scissors does have pulse bomb.
Doesn't need
maybe
it.
Maybe it's a kill on a Noctis. I mean, that's all your speed. You can't get away from
Terror
this.
Surge is huge. That was the go button. Oh, your Lucio's dead. Terror Surge instantly. What you got for us? No, shows the
Terror Surge.
Scissors. There we go. He's got the cube.
Oh, well, a souvenir.
Oh, he's got the cube.
Look at that.
So the Trick Room cube there. Little lore drop. All right, Shikigami, you've got the you've got the blade, you've got the rampage coming up, but Cal can just pull this rush, and it's going to be hard for Shikigami to really see anything in this fight. And Vintage is already dead. He just get one clipped by Scissors.
It had to have been. I mean, he was dead so fast. It looked like Infected turned and put like a bullet. What is this? This is an Orisa on the full lane here.
They call they call Diva Big Tracer. Bigger Tracer is the Orisa who just walks to the back line.
They call Orisa Omnic Winston.
Ah, that's so true. Omnic Winston.
Nope, this is just taking some damage in souvenir mode.
Just watching Cal trades though. To be fair, you know what? Worth. Absolutely worth.
Value.
Hitting the
Even
souvenir.
though Cal did have rush, that is value right there.
Doesn't matter. Infected lives, bro. Look at him. He's just beelining for the spawn.
He just like
he's down. He's down. He's dead. 131
like, you ever
meters.
play those games?
Whatever.
With like a horde mode, and they just kind of like have that one bot that just runs at you in a straight line, and just like it's supposed to be the scary one. It's like that's kind of like Infected just sees like Vintage or support and just beelines it.
It's one of the dogs from COD Zombies. Just beelining for the back line. All right, overclock on the high ground. Everybody's all split already from Shikigami. Good sound barrier. PG is going to receive the same treatment, though, as he's pushed down from the high ground to low. Graveyard had to teleport away. And here comes the rush. The rampage's decent. PG and Infected. It was interrupted, but it's still got value. Anti onto PG. Infected also in trouble. Hits the Terror Surge. Boot back in. Oh, not quite enough to kill Aspect, but it doesn't matter. Noctis and Vintage already dead, and now, a sad Junker Queen life when you can't.
Comes Infected around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. You can't even touch the front line. It's just getting permanently booped away. I mean, they're just delaying time here, Matt. With 131 meters, Shikigami need 5 fights to win.
Well, that's the thing. You have these fights that Shikigami wins, and you're like, awesome, here we go. But the fights are so deep in their territory of the map that it pretty much just allows them to get back to, like, mid-map. Like, you know, exactly where they have their barrier. It doesn't really net them any progress.
30 seconds to go. Still winnable. 100 and a bit meters there for the win. Oh, that was close. Vintage is just receiving so much punishment from Scissors right now. Almost cut him in half there with a one clip. Infected, pushing away the tank. Aspect in trouble. Kind of dancing around the bot right now as the blade has been pulled. That was a stun onto Noctis. Missed Abstract, which did result in a kill. Little deflection, a little bit playing scared there, it looked like. Didn't want to mess with Scissors all too much as overtime arrives. Scissors takes down Abstract as the bot keeps on moving, but Shikigami, they're bleeding. Students of the game with the closest spawn points as well, Matt. This is it. They're in trouble now. With the OT here, you cannot leave the bot for a brief moment. And we're going to listen into the comms for the last few seconds of this map.
Shoot This your love? You shoot card, the Majesty non.
Queen one, no scissor.
Oh.
This ends.
I give up.
Oh yeah.
Alright, good shit.
I give up. Me emoting. No.
Oh yeah, best described.
I give up. I give up. Everybody hit Q. I give up.
I give up. Oh yeah, as that is a win for students of the game. As they looked great.
Yeah, they looked sick. Yeah, a W for students of the game. I mean, a 3-0 like that, you gotta be feeling confident. I mean, honestly, right now they're not losing to anybody. Maybe some of the higher.
They lost to M80.
Oh,
they
okay.
lost to M80 in round 1.
That does make sense.
Really tough, round 1 game for them.
Yeah.
Although they do lose that 3-0. They bounce back in a big way. I mean, they deal with Shikigami rather quickly.
Yeah, that 3-0, pretty one-sided right now. But yeah, a lot of good talent on students of the game right now. My dark horse for North America currently, and I think they still will be. And yeah, we'll have a look what the desk have to say about that one, because I wish we did Preds. I really do, because it's fun to see people get things wrong, Johnny. But you know, Preds maybe taken out of the segment because people get them wrong a lot.
Jaws, I got you. I will bring back the Preds. Just for you, for the last
make
one.
me. I mean, you sort of can.
I'm going to make you, don't worry. But hey, students of the game, taking the win against Shiki. Yes, Johnny.
I wonder why no one likes Jaws.
Whoa! I love Jaws.
Just talk smacks about me and Matt. Let's talk about Mitch.
Johnny, all that stuff everybody says behind your back. None of it's true. You're a great guy. You're a great guy.
Johnny.
First wrong. I was the Pred champ last year. Put some respect.
Were you? Wasn't it Zoe?
Respect on the name.
It was you.
Johnny's got that one up in the trophy case. He's got that one above his
bed. One thing I want
on the mantelpiece.
Come on.
You come into the home and it's what's that on the mantelpiece? It's like that's the Preds trophy. It's like there wasn't a trophy, but Johnny like had one commissioned, you know.
Okay. All right, guys.
Anyway.
Let's talk about this match.
Let's talk about the match.
Yeah. I mean, student of the game coming in. You know, I think Jaws and Mr. X were talking about it. They did suffer a tough loss against M80, but they came in to win. They were looking clean.
I mean, oozing confidence there in the end in the comms. They're just having fun with it. They know there's not really any way to lose that game for them with the individual skill gap. I think we saw this series and the team play across the board. Infected putting up huge numbers on a hero like Orisa where individual mechanics have so much impact. PGE, big plays as expected. Honestly, everyone on the team looking rock solid here. But Shikigami, they are eliminated here. Their journey comes to an end in the OWCS qualifier number 1. Could see them back in the future. I think there were a couple bright spots there, but yeah, big gap in this series.
Yeah, I mean, the competition is stiff. Here in North America. I mean, there's just so many good teams, so many stacked teams, and the fact that students of the game, they find themselves in this lower bracket match because they're playing M80, who is of course one of the top 2 favorites here in this region. It's a tough beat if you're Shikigami, but then again, like you said, Jake, I mean, the fact that you qualified for the main event in the first place. There's an achievement to build upon, and we will see some of those players back at it again for stage 2. But yeah, this was a really confident students of the game. Looks like they figured out kind of what they want to play this meta, and this is sort of similar to what we saw ENCE play in the EMEA region earlier today. So if you got a good Orisa, like Infected, just walking on the enemy team, and then you got a good hit scan and tracer to back you up, seems like you're good. You're in a good spot for this main event.
Yeah, I feel like we aren't seeing them as much in the kill feed, but the supports as well, crucial for enabling that. Like, if you're wasting your carry ult or even just like an amp speed from Lucio goes awry, this comm can really fall flat on its face. And, you know, for heroes like Orisa, you've got to produce. You only have like this 5 to 10 second window to produce frags early in the fight. And if you haven't done enough damage and disruption by that time, you will just run out of cooldowns diving into the enemy team. So Infected with the individual mechanics, able to put up some huge numbers here. 66-13 for the series.
Dang.
That is a beatdown.
Orisa player of the match, you'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, Orisa is one of those heroes where it's just a deathmatch warrior. Like, you have to have very good mechanics.
The second time you've been saying that.
I love that. It's like, I mean, look at this hero. It just comes in from downtown, throws the fastball.
The javelin is a real skill.
Dirty, man.
Yeah.
And now you can snipe with the left click. It's like no fall off on the left click. It's pretty sick.
The left click not having fall off, it is crazy.
It is
like the fact that you can just shoot all of them.
It's still not that good at long range, you know, but
yeah,
it's got potential.
When I'm tank, it feels like I'm doing stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm shooting the backline.
Oh, you got to get in there,
It makes you feel like
in there.
Look at
what this guy's doing. You got to do like, be like this kid. Get in there.
Yeah. I will say that the Junker Queen Orisa matchup, it's
just way too much disruption.
With the emoting, you know, they kind of told it.
This is the most emotes I have ever seen in a pro match, I think. This is an early emote. This is like, you haven't really won yet, bro, but this is, you know, with the confidence I'm sure they're all feeling.
Also, I mean, Infected getting the player of the match, very, you know, well-deserved. I also like this team because, you know, the players comms that we were hearing at the end. Oh, yeah. I give up. Guys, you could tell that they're having fun. They're enjoying this, right? And I think that means so much. And I think, you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of students of the game.
Losing confidence.
Yeah, and they might have more to climb as a team. I think they still have more growth ahead of them. Yes, he took a tough loss to M80, but this is still a really strong team with a lot of high potential players that I think we will be seeing more of, especially while continuing on in this qualifier. Still alive, right? Still surviving and still potentially battling back from the lower bracket. Starting to earn some points here. Every point counts towards these majors.
Right. Yeah.
And so they're looking...
So they will,
promising, and I think it's about time to do a post-match interview. We have PGE on the line to do a quick chat with us. PGE, congratulations on getting the win, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I have to ask, you know, of course, this is your second match of the day. You guys lost to M80, but you guys really bounced back in a huge way. So how were you guys able to do that?
Well, against our match against M80 was really difficult for us, and then we tried to regain against this match. We knew our opponent very well, played our game, and it was good.
All right. You guys, we got a little listen into the comms there at the end of Esperanza. What was that like getting into the third map? It seems like you guys were playing with a ton of confidence there, bringing that back after a tough loss. How was the vibes on the team? You know, like who's the leader? Who's getting people excited? Who's making the jokes? Like, I'm curious about sort of the personalities on the team.
I think the leader is Infected, and he's always keeping up the energy. I'm a little down sometimes about the loss, but he really made me bounce back. So it was,
so we didn't actually get to see that match when you played M80. Sort of what kind of went wrong in the match against M80, and what can you do better in the future to improve for the rest of the event?
The match against M80, we just weren't playing like ourselves. We were very nervous. Tensions was high, and we just didn't take our angles. We didn't play our game. We're just very nervous, very nervous.
You got a second opportunity. You got one more chance in the lower bracket, so we can always bring it back now.
I mean, if there's no more dark horse team, I think, in NA than Students of the Game. I think they're the team that a lot of people called as like a team that can make upsets and can bring it back. And so maybe being in the lower bracket is where you're meant to be. Like rising up out of the ashes there. I'm still excited. I think you guys can have a lot of potential to show.
I agree too. I think hopefully it's going to be a good run in the losers bracket, and we have a lot to show.
All right, PG, that's it for the interview. Thank you so much for the interview, and good luck moving forward.